Lions, Lions, we are about to get started. And I hope and I trust that y'all can see me and you can hear me. Can I get a thumbs up for everybody on the call? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay, we're good. Because, gentlemen, if you can notice, we're going to be swaying a little bit. Why am I swaying a little bit? Because I'm on a cruise at the moment. If I could really open this door and I could show you the back of the boat and I could show you the wake view, would love to see it, but unfortunately, it's very, very dark out there. And it has been an incredible, incredible week. And I want to make sure that I figured out Wi-Fi. I went and talked to the captain. I was like, Captain, make sure we are ready to go because we get the Lions then every single week. So I just want to say thank you for all the Lions that are showing up today and welcome to yet another episode. But today is a little bit different. And when I say a little bit different, I mean it's number 99. 99 episodes of Lion's Den. We're getting strong. Last week was 98, and this week we are pushing 99 episodes every single week. We show up here, and why do we show up here, gentlemen? We show up because of brotherhood, blessings, and breakthroughs. The brotherhood between men. The only time you look down at a man is when you're picking him back up. The blessings from above because God has a purpose and a plan for each one of us, and the breakthroughs. It may be something I say tonight. It may be something another lion says, but be open, be receptive, be understanding for some of the things that could change your life. Because tonight, I really wanted to get deep and I want to make sure that we're setting ourselves on the right trajectory to set us apart in the beautiful new year that's coming up. So, gentlemen, I just want to first of all just acknowledge the gentlemen that are on the call right now. To be on the call right now, especially a day after Christmas. First of all, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And we're going to talk about Christmas because last week we talked about going and actually seeing family and being present and doing and opening presents, giving presents, doing all that. But this is the last one for the year. And when I say last one for the year, I mean every single man on this call understands the pressure that is put on top of us every single day, every single week, every single month, but every single year. And this year is coming to a closing. And in closing, I want to make sure that we're set on the right foot so that we can step into the new year, not only with power, not only with presence, but really the purpose that we've designed ourselves to be. So today, gentlemen, I just want to be able to share a quick little experience with you guys before we get started into some amazing stuff. I just want to acknowledge the fact that this episode, you might hear me cutting in and out. There may be some Wi-Fi interruptions, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that the captain hooked us up and we got the extreme premium Wi-Fi to make sure that we can show up, because I want to share a very quick story of what happened just last week after we finished Lions Den. The next 48 hours after Lions Den last week changed my life forever. How do I say that? Why do I say that? Gentlemen, I did it. I did it. I did it. I took the plunge of a lifetime. I got on a knee and I asked the woman that I love to marry me. Very incredible experience, gentlemen. It was incredible. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. I see Ron in the house. I see Pops in the house. I see Cullen coming in. I see Dustin. I see Alexa. I appreciate everyone to be here to experience that because it was such a phenomenal experience for me. It was not only just the wow factor, but it was like that courage, that feeling that I tell you guys, I'm a speaker. Y'all know I'm a speaker. Okay. Y'all know I'm a speaker. I had zero words. You plan it out the whole way you wanted, like, oh, I'm going to make this whole beautiful speech and I'm going to do this whole thing. I was like, baby, will you marry me? Like, it's incredible when you're put to that test, because that is a lifelong commitment that you are now making forever. So that was just an incredible thing that I wanted to share with you guys. And of course, we just surprised, it wasn't a surprise to go on the cruise. The surprise was the proposal. But then we got on the cruise and we went to Margaritaville and we've been at sea for the last 5 days. 5 days we left Tampa. We went out to Key West. We did some incredible things at Key West. I took my beautiful fiance. We went out into the middle of the barrier reef. We got to go scuba diving or whatever. Well, I didn't actually, to be honest. I'm not much of a water guy. I watched her and made a lot of videos. Not my thing, but she was able to go out there and experience because she's like a mermaid, you know. She loves swimming. She loves that thing. So we went down in the middle of Key West out there, did an incredible situation, and it was just such a powerful thing to be on vacation. You see, being on vacation is something that us men need to understand how to do more often. And I'm not saying like a vacation as in go on a cruise or go fly somewhere. I'm talking about just the mental relaxation, like the mental clarity of giving ourselves just a bit of time to think, to prosper, to create ideas away from everybody else. You see, as men, we don't do this. As men, we want to protect, we want to provide, we want to be there, we want to be present, we want to make money, we want to do this all this stuff. And we're going to talk about money tonight because I want to set you guys up right for 2025. And I think money is definitely still a focus because us men do rely a lot on that. It makes us the men that we are to be able to provide and protect the right way. So it's just been an incredible week of an experience. And I wanted to show up for you guys and just being with the brothers. You know, that's why I went to the captain. That's why I said, Captain, make sure Wi-Fi is good. I got to show up for my gentlemen, regardless of sitting here with the teeter-tottering or anything like that. I want to show up for the men that are committed to being live on this call. So I do want to say thank you. Thank you to all the men on this call live, and thank you to all the men that are going to be watching this recording afterwards, because I appreciate you. I appreciate you for not only just sticking by the Lions Den the year of 2024, but getting us right and set up for 2025. Now, last Lions Den, you know, we talked about something very powerful. We talked more about the choices and the decisions and the thoughts that we make. But today, I want to transition it a bit. I want to take my glasses off here. I want us to understand simply this. The first thing we have to do with this year of 2024 is we have to remember those experiences that we've had. So for those of you that are writing notes, I want you to just, go off the bat right here. Remember the experiences that you had, but more importantly, remember the wins. It's so often we don't think about the wins and we're always like, 2024 could have been better. I could have made more. I could have done more. I should have done more. But no, slow down a second and actually just breathe in those wins. See, I've been able to do that in the last couple of days being out here and just being able to experience, a cruise and do my thing. And I started recollecting my thoughts and I started understanding that there's massive wins that we need to understand that happened this year. Small wins, big wins. Could be financial, could be mental, could be relational, could be just the understanding of wanting to just show up. That's really what we do, gentlemen. Second thing that I want to the mental too, which was sleep holidays. In this time, so seeing family, seeing a good old question, what do you want? How much do you make? Yeah, I'm not guys now is this celebrate because you don't want to wait. You want to wait for something big before you celebrate. You want to take in the wins to help you continuously bring the momentum into the game of being able to figure out when those wins come. This is something that I've done very, very wrong most of my life. Most of my life, I always wanted to chase to the big one. I always want to be that next level. I always want to get to that, that next step. But instead, I wasn't taking the small wins along the side that were actually uplifting me. I was just chasing for that big 10x goal, the big 10x goal. And if I don't hit the 10x goal, well, I got 4%, but still, I need to be better. But when we can start to understand those small wins, it allows us to understand and acknowledge exactly where we need to be. And that's what today's all about. They talk about this all the time. Strengths versus weaknesses. Y'all heard that before? Strengths versus your weaknesses. You see, most people will tell you, hey, put the strengths on autopilot and focus on your weaknesses, right? Like if the strengths are good, focus on the strengths and then leave the strengths on autopilot, but then focus on the weaknesses. Now that statement is completely wrong because you have to understand one thing. You got to double down on your strengths. And you got to automate and delegate your weaknesses. If you are not good at something, that's okay. Do you think Elon Musk is good at everything? Do you think it took him everything to know in his brain to becoming a full $100 million man? No. He was able to understand that I'm going to double down on my strengths and I'm actually just going to delegate and push my weaknesses towards people that are capable and able to be able to take that on and run with it. Now, whether that's a virtual assistant, whether that's somebody in your business, whether that's your wife to be, whether that's someone in your life that you can now hold accountable, that's the most incredible part about the journey of business, entrepreneurship, life. And when I say that, guys, I want to bring this up because the third and final thing is it's time to make money. Like, it's time to make money in the way that we need to. Like, not in the ways in like 2024, I was able to do this or I wanted to do this. No, I'm talking about 2025. And I'm going to talk about the wealth transfer towards the end of this call. But the wealth transfer is the biggest wealth transfer that is taking place right now with everything that's happening in the market. There is literally money flying from the sky right now. Like Chicken Little used to say. I remember that story. You know, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Guess what? The sky is falling. And it's falling with a lot of cash. Just a matter of that bucket that you're carrying, how big that bucket is, and where you're positioned to collect. Are you positioned correctly? Are you positioned correctly to collect that incredible transfer that's happening? And that's why, you know, being a man, I always talk about this, you know, is to provide, is to protect. But it has to be on the ethos and baseline of your purpose. Like, we want to provide and protect, but if we don't have a purpose, it's very hard to direct yourself. And the only way to have purpose is to pay yourself, because that's what's going to drive you. That's what's going to drive you bigger than anything. Because if you can pay yourself and you can feel fulfilled and you can make money, it's going to start infusing that purpose, which is going to allow you to provide and protect the right way. That's why today, gentlemen, I'm going to keep this little brief for the amount of Wi-Fi that I got access to. And I want you guys to understand 3 simple rules to how you can set yourself up this year, this upcoming year of 2025, to position and polish and protect yourself the right way. To be able to actually now figure out 3 fundamentals, 3 simple fundamentals that if you can apply just these 3 fundamentals, it not only will be a fantastic end to 2024, but outside that, it's going to be a very powerful 2025 for you as well. How's that sound, gentlemen? We got Ron in the house, my man. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Julian's in the house. Keyshawn showing up, my man. Daniel. We got a couple guys coming in, coming out, but that's okay because we always continue. Every single week we show up, regardless if there's 1 man on the call or there's 100 men on the call. I want to show up, and that's why I'm here from a cruise. Literally from a cruise. That's why I'm swaying side to side. It's not me. I'm not loopy. I ain't drunk. I'm trying to stick by with the cruise moving forward. But I want to just say, look, life is challenging, gentlemen. We understand that. Life gives us shit all the time. And every single man on this call and every man that watches has experienced his own situation. We cannot compare. We cannot compare weaknesses. We cannot compare the downfalls. We can't, you know, compare the experience. Like there's guys on the call that have experienced stuff. Like Julian, for example. You know, I always bring Julian out. He's shot 6 times, man. I don't think anybody's going to resonate well with that. But that's experience. That's experience. So us men go through experience. The only problem that we do is we don't know how to emotionalize. We don't know how to communicate that. We don't know how to talk about pain because it was always conditioned in us to rub some dirt in it and be a man. So if we know that and we understand that and we're on this call tonight, I want us to now start to focus on, okay, how do I completely start to focus on myself? Because if I can take care of myself, truly, just as like when you're flying on a plane, right? What do they always say? If for some reason the masks come out and the cabin pressure changes, make sure you put your own mask on before you put somebody else's on. Now, that's a hard lesson that I want every man to learn tonight's call, because we don't think like that. We don't actually act like that. We want to think like that, And we believe we would act that way. But what are we doing? We're putting masks on everybody else. Is everybody okay? Is my family okay? Is my friends okay? Is my everything okay? Oh, I can't breathe anymore. And you out. And you will be swindled away just by the wind, by the sun, by the air, whatever you want to call it. So today I want you guys to remember three simple things that's going to help you actually make money. Make money to feel proud, to be the man that you are designed to be, the lion that needs to roar, and the king that you deserve to be. Are y'all ready for this? The first one is the skill set. Using your skill set. Now, you better discover what that skill is, but every person has a skill set. And this goes into two avenues. Do you want that skill set to be applied to owning your own business? Entrepreneurship. We talked a lot about that last week when it came to Elon Musk being a $400 million man. You know, he said it, and this has stuck with me so hard. It's like looking into the abyss, and it's like eating glass. Because to become an entrepreneur, you have to look into the abyss, all the negative things that are going to happen to crush you at any moment, and then you have to eat glass. How long are you willing to do it? How long are you willing to eat glass? How long are you willing to be uncomfortable every single day, every single month, every single year? It's not just a 2025 switchover. That's why, as much as I love to bring up Christmas and I say Merry Christmas to everyone, and it's an amazing, incredible holiday, I still think these holidays are like, hey, now I'm more stress. Like, if you want to give presents, give presents. If you want to love people, love people. You want to call somebody, call someone. We don't need to wait for a holiday in order to do that. But it is amazing to spend Christmas and the festivities and the energy and understanding what Christmas was and still is. Christmas isn't just a time to be with family and to open up presents. No, Christmas was a time to celebrate the birth of Jesus. That's what it was. And when you actually take, you know, funny enough, actually, side note to even just, you know, birth of Jesus is Santa Claus came up today, right? Like the concept of Santa Claus. And me and my girl, we were talking about it. She's like, yeah, Santa Claus. Like, you know, this started from like Saint Nick, right? Saint Nick. There's a whole story behind that, right? It was Saint Nick back in the day who actually wanted to give his wealth away and be able to provide good things to those that behaved well and actually were conditioned within, you know, being a good person, and then, you know, somewhat punish the naughty ones. And that modern day tinge kind of put to it, Coca-Cola came in, to be honest. That's what my girl said. She's like, Coca-Cola made Santa red and white. And I was like, fair enough, actually. Where did he come up with that outfit? Makes sense. Modern day marketing. Because we are sold marketing every single day. But the point is that we all are here to experience Christmas, the holidays, Hanukkah, anything that you believe in, Kwanzaa, New Year's, however we want to now label it. The point is that we stick together. So when I say this first thing, I want you to understand, using the skill set that you have can start a business if you're willing to do the pain that we just talked about, that Elon brings up. But the other way that you can use your skill set is find and align with a company that's already established. Why go through the pain? Why go through some of that stuff when you can just apply it? You can actually make more money, and you can actually make more of a difference within your own lifestyle versus slaving away trying to be this is my brand, this is my company. You know, I was always taught, Jay, do you want to make money or do you want to be known? My mentor taught me that. He said, Jay, do you want to make money or do you want to be known? I was like, well, I want both. Obviously, I want both. He's like, but you got to be clear on what you want, because if you want to make money, it's very different than being known. If you want to be known, get ready for the 10-year journey. Get ready for hundreds, millions of dollars spent to try to build your brand and try to build your presence. But if you want to make money, it's a little bit different. You can align with a company that's already existing and be able to just run with that skill set. So I encourage gentlemen on the call today and those that are going to be watching to really hone in on the one skill set. You know, in the business world, we say, what's your deliverable result? What's your one thing that you can accomplish? How can you help investors scale and make money? Whatever the result, no. The thing comes down to your skill set that you can provide this world, because we all have many. But if you can dial that into one focus point, That's what's going to allow you to really pinpoint exactly who you want to align with or how you want to start. The second thing I want to talk about is something that a very, very powerful man taught me. Billionaire. He taught me this. He said, being a millionaire is solving someone else's problem. Being a billionaire is finding somebody to solve somebody else's problem. Now, I want to decode that a little bit for you guys. The difference is buying and selling is at the bottom of the chain. See, if you're buying and selling a product, you're at the bottom of the chain. Now, I don't care if it's a retail product. I don't care if it's coaching. I don't care if it's consulting. I don't care if it's anything. Trust me, I've done it. I've done it all. But it's at the bottom of the chain because you're sitting there trying to convince or trying to sell someone to purchase something from you. And then you're going to put the effort in to try to satisfy that and actually provide the fulfillment for it. That's not how billionaires think. Billionaires think on a different scale because they are in a position where I go, okay, I got a deal. Like, for example, last week, I had a very amazing lunch with a very powerful gentleman in Tampa, and we were sitting down and we were talking. He's a multi-million-dollar real estate developer building $1 million homes in the greater Tampa area. And we were sitting there, and he's like, "Yeah, Jay." He's like, "So I build these things $2 to $3 million. We got a couple million of margin because they're about 2.5 to 2.9 depending on it cost valuation, and we sell for about 4.5." So I was like, "Damn, you got $1.5 million profit margin in this?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Look, at the end of the day, $3 million construction, like $3 million to do the whole thing, 80% of that is already funded. So all we got to do is we just got to come up with the 20%, the equity, because the bank partners are already set up." So I was like, So he's like, "What you got to do is you just got to position." I was like, "Okay, perfect. Well, this is easy because I got a lot of Canadian investors. We got about $20-30 million coming from Canada right now." And I was like, "If they're coming down, well, guess what? All I got to now do is position." So I called up my investors. It's like, "Hey guys, we got some opportunities. We got 3-4 homes coming in. 3-4 homes where you have a very great opportunity, a lucrative market for you to now generate a 20% IRR, like a 20% annual IRR on an investment where you're going to be secure because it's a multi-million-dollar home being built in an incredible geographical location." So what am I doing? I'm just mobilizing. I'm positioning. I'm talking to investors. I'm bringing capital in, saying, "Hey, I got deals." Put that there. And then when I said my fee to him, I was like, "You know what I do? Like, normally what I charge is 10%. I was like, anything I can raise for you, I'm gonna just charge 10%. You know what he said to me? He's like, "Jay, did you hear my numbers?" He's like, "We got a lot more than 10% that we can offer." He's like, "You get good at this and you start actually, representing." He's about a $36 million company right now, and he wants to scale to about 196 within the next 24 months. Right. And he looked at me, he's like, "There's a lot of profit margin to go around." So even I was underselling myself at 10%. Now I mobilized, $1 million, that's 100K for me. But he's like, "No, 20-30%, we can pull this off." So this is the most important part, gentlemen, of positioning yourself right for the new year, is being able to understand and know that on average, a human knows 64 people. 64 people. Now, I guarantee you, for the gentleman on the call right now, if you were to pull up your cell phones and you were to go into your contacts and you were to scroll all the way to the bottom and actually see that number at the bottom, I guarantee you there's going to be more than 64 contacts in your phone. We just don't know what to do with them. We don't know how to contact them. We don't know what to pitch them. And we don't know how to take mobile capital that we know that we have inside of our cell phones. Our cell phone's only worth, what, $2,000 with an iPhone? My Android fans. Android's a little bit higher. Right? We don't know what to do with the actual money that's in those cell phones. The cell phone's only worth 1,000, 2,000, but I guarantee you the contacts in there and the data in there is worth a lot more. Worth a lot more. So if we can start to understand how to mobilize capital, how to be able to get on phones and start to articulate in certain ways and say, "I have opportunities." And that's why Lions Den is going to be switching up its vibe starting in 2025. As much as I love to inspire and empower you guys every single week, I want us to make money. That's why I'm setting the last 99th episode of Lions Den on the trajectory of now focusing on deal flow, focusing on monetization, focusing on helping you guys articulate and create the deal flow that you need so you can go to those contacts that you have inside your database and say, "Hey, I got an opportunity. You want to take it on? It's incredible. Come talk. Let's have a chat. And that one conversation could change the trajectory of your life. I always believe that one human connection, one person in your life that you can shake hands with, just like I've done many times with some very powerful people that have been able to help me not only just learn amazing things, but be able to scale. Just like connect. One handshake can change your life, gentlemen. One hand can change your life. Honestly, remember the last final thing I was talking to you guys about wealth transfer. This is hard because the wealth transfer is big. We're seeing this with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now. We're seeing this in the real estate markets. We're seeing this in insurance, in business. So how are you positioning yourself correctly? Because as much as you can take your skill set and do something with it, as much as you can understand how do I tweak my business model to making sure that I can outsource and I can actually put people together and I can have a model where I can create income without actually having to fulfill. The third and final thing now is positioning yourself correctly. When it comes to the crypto, Keyshawn and I, we had a couple weeks back, we had an incredible conversation about Bitcoin and some of the incredible things. By the way, a little side note, because I always like to do this with my lines, ADA, Cardona, ADA cryptocurrency, little ding ding. What that means? It's called like an insider, stake right there. Something you should look into. It's under $1 right now. Very good time to pick it up, to hold on to whatever you can, 100, 200, 3,000, whatever it may be. ADA is a good model to actually pick up. But cryptocurrency itself is the wave of the future. 3 times my portfolio in crypto just because of this market up. But guess what? Last week, I was down $24,000 on my portfolio. And I was like, shit. But guess what? I can't let emotions hold that back. I understand that the market's going to go up. So one key investment that I want you to understand is crypto is here. Crypto is here. So get the right education, position yourself correctly, and be involved in that market. Now, I'm just giving you a quick little tip to buy, but at the end of the day, structure yourself correctly. Find the right resources and position correctly, whether it's $100, $1,000, $1 million, position yourself correctly because this is one of the waves of the biggest wealth transfer that's about to happen. People are making 1,000% returns. Like real estate and stock market has never been able to do that. Historically, never been able to do that. So we have a chance right now where you can put in $100 and you can, but don't chase the quick win. Remember, gambling mindset is not right. The 2 emotional factors that will break you when it comes to gambling is fear and greed. When you are fearful, you will lose. When you are greedy, you will lose. Remember that. But crypto is here. It is moving forward and it's doing a lot. I don't care about what governments are saying. I don't care what the markets are saying. I don't care what the CEO of BlackRock and Vanguard is saying. Regardless, it is something that's moving. That's why one of my key players has been XRP. XRP has been a very big player because XRP now is actually creating technology to help the banking systems transact quicker without having to go and find somebody else to be able to transact money across the world. $14 trillion is sitting there wanting to be transacted at the moment. And XRP is coming into a technological play. And the CEO himself is about really talking to how this is going to change the world. They're talking about, XRP blowing up. And again, I don't really care about XRP going to $5, $10, any of this stuff, because you shouldn't be focused on price. You should be focused on market cap. You should be focused on market cap and the feasibility of an asset moving forward. Whether it's a commodity like Bitcoin, because I call Bitcoin a commodity, right? It's a commodity. Whether it's a stock play in the crypto world, which is like the XRPs, the Ethereums, and those big boys. Maybe some of the altcoins. I get it. We all want fart coin. We all want fucking Dogecoin and all these, these things that are actually like, whoa, one day it just went up like 1,000%. Yeah, great. It's a one-hit wonder. Don't bank on those opportunities. Have emotional control and understand that you're positioning yourself correctly to knowing that there's longevity in this. It's going to take me 2-3 years, but if I can start poking away, one thing I did about 3 years ago, very cool. I just put this automatic thing in Coinbase where $500 would just be bought of Bitcoin. I just considered it a bill, like a phone bill. right? Because we all pay phone bills, we buy coffees every single morning. But I just put this automatic thing and I was like, I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to put it in my expenses and I'm just going to know I have a $500 expense that goes towards that. And I got to maintain that expense just as I do with all my expenses. Yeah, that started accumulating. That started accumulating over 3 years, didn't it? So it's like the small things are bigger than trying to be like, oh, how do I get $100,000 to put in here so I can buy a Bitcoin? You don't need a Bitcoin. What you need is the education and the fundamentals to know what you're investing in. This is what nobody teaches. This is what nobody shares. So I want us to really focus on Bitcoin and crypto. I say Bitcoin and crypto together because I feel like it's like the commodity and I feel like it's the exchange and the kind of the new version of stock market, right? Keep your mind focused on this because it's going to help position you correctly. And in the new year, in the Lion's Den, we're going to talk more and more about this. We have incredible special guests that I have lined up, some very powerful people that have done a lot of amazing things inside the crypto game. They're going to come give you insights outside of even just me telling you. I want the experts giving you that, and that's what we're really going to bring next year for the Lions Den. The second thing in terms of asset class that I want us to focus on is what I talked about earlier. It's about real estate, right? Real estate is a little bit different than a digital asset. It's very different than a paper asset, digital being crypto and paper being, stock market. Real estate is a different thing because guess what? I can touch it. I can feel it. Real estate is a tangible core asset where I know my buildings up in Canada, I go up to them. My crown's, nice and shining on one of them. But I know that I can go there and that's my building, that's my land, that's my property. Real estate is everything that we need to be able to make sure is going to create that long-term passive income. So again, before even jumping into your first deal, or maybe your 100th deal, is still being educated. Where do I place it? Who do I place it with? And how do I actually manifest real estate? Like I just shared with you, I've been a commercial real estate developer on the side of building. I've been on the side of investing, but now I'm just mobilizing. Now I'm just taking capital from over here, finding deals over here, putting them together, collecting my percentages, and being able to now know the trajectory that I have for myself. Real estate is one of the most powerful assets, if not the most powerful asset, and everybody wants it. So if you're thinking about what can I get into, how can I actually start my year right? Again, position yourself with the skill set that you have. Maybe you're not as skillful in the game of real estate, but maybe you're a talker. Maybe you know people. It's about communicating, bringing that in, and again, positioning it correctly. And the third and final asset class that I want to talk about today, before I open it up to any Q&A, before I let you guys go here, because I do want to keep it a little short tonight. Do want to get some food with my girl, and it's our last night on the cruise. The last one I want to talk about is insurance. Not many people talk about insurance, and I'm not here to sell you life insurance. I'm far from that. I'm not licensed in any category. I'm not a licensed realtor. I'm not a licensed, life insurance. I'm not licensed anything because I don't like being governed by nobody. That's why I'm on the sea right now. But I will tell you, a product that I recently came across called the IUL. And IUL is something very, very interesting because it is infinite banking. What I mean by infinite banking, it's I can now deposit money into an account that's now going to be held tax-free completely, and I can pull out tax-free. So there's no taxes involved in any of it. So that's a really, really powerful thing to understand. Okay. The second thing is now if I contribute $25,000, let's just say this year, great. Next year, I'm going to contribute $50,000, but I may not have $50,000 next year. Well, that's awesome because I just need to stick to my 25 every year. Because the accumulation inside of that account, what it's going to do is you're going to actually have the money sitting there and you're going to borrow it back from the asset class there. And you're going to put it back as your premium. And I'm going to be able to now fund my account $50,000. This is how banks make money. Banks make money because the World Bank allows you to now get money at a certain percentage and then lend it at a different percentage and make some points in between. Well, what if you could do that to yourself? What if you, instead of a savings account, instead of a retirement account, you were able to actually just invest into something tax-free and then be able to borrow back and then put it back into the policy and grow it even bigger? It's like I can now fund it $50,000, but I'm only actually paying 25 because the value I'm going to keep leveraging at. Infinite banking. Infinite banking. I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it over here, I'm going to invest it back, and then we're going to keep this cycle going. And what's going to happen is over time, that's going to accumulate to a lot more than you think it might. Now, again, I'm not an insurance expert, so that's why I'll bring in my professionals for that, and they can break that down for you guys in the New Year's. But these three asset classes, when you start to look at the crypto world, you start to look at crypto as being a good positioning at the, honestly, the gambling level, because I'm going to go back to that term. Money that is expendable. Do not put your life savings. Don't put everything online hoping that you, but if you got some spare money that you want to put aside, like I did, like $500 a month, I was like, okay, let's let this keep going. Let this keep going. Great. Real estate, my bread and butter. Real estate, how do I acquire an asset? How do I have an asset that's going to now be able to continuously, like my commercial strip malls, I invest and build commercial strip malls, 6,000, 12,000 square feet, single story buildings that have tenants, 6 to 8 tenants, liquor store, pizza shop, doctor's office, pharmacy. These tenants, they pay me $3,000, $4,000 a month. Every one of them, $3,000, $4,000 a month. So I'm accumulating 20, 30 per building. Real estate is a beautiful asset that you want to park your money on and really have that tangible asset. And then, of course, on this side, the insurance. Keep yourself protected. Here's a rule of thumb for insurance. However much liability that you owe to anyone, I'm talking credit card debt, I'm talking mortgages, I'm talking any debt that you owe, school debt, anything, your life insurance policy, death payout should accumulate a minimum of what you owe. Otherwise, guess what happens? Jay goes out one day and goes on a cruise, and then all of a sudden, oh, I went overboard. I flew off the boat. Jay's dead. Guess what? Where does my debt go? My debt goes to my family. And for those that have kids, that's even worse. Those that have a wife, that's even worse. I can give it to my parents for the time being, but at the end of the day, like, that's something that you want to consider. So insurance is a very, very lucrative product if placed and positioned the correct way, can help you in 2025 accumulate the wealth that you deserve to accumulate. Tonight, I also want to bring up something. Gentlemen, we made it. Like, we made it. It's done. Like, it's December 26th. It's Boxing Day. First of all, JC didn't even know what Boxing Day was. I'm like, didn't Boxing Day start in America? Like, y'all Americans had to have started Boxing Day. I don't know why he doesn't know what Boxing Day is, but fair enough. I was like, maybe it's a Canadian thing. I don't think so. But gentlemen, we made it. I want every single man on this call just to do one of these. Give yourself a pat on the back. You fucking did it. You're a lion. The fact that you're on this call right now means that you're a king in the making, because we are all lions on this call and we are all working towards being the king to our kingdom. That's why we're here learning from the true king, whose birthday it was yesterday, whose birthday it was yesterday. He is the true king. And why is he the true king? Because he just applied simple principles that God told him to come down to the world to do. Like, it wasn't difficult. It wasn't crazy. It was quite simple, to be honest. Like, when that man was getting crucified, he understood one simple principle. He's like, don't care. Like, frankly, I don't care. Like, y'all can kill me. You can crucify me. You can do whatever. I don't care. I still love y'all. Like, think about the ego drop in that situation. And then think about the ego that we hold as men every single day when we're like, I got to be right. I got to prove myself. I got to make money and do this. No. Learn from the example of the true king, because that's why we're here. We're lions here to roar. Gentlemen, this has come to an end. I got to shut this off a little early. I got a couple of little events here on the last night of my cruise. Like I said, I wish I could show you this background. Honestly, it's a really cool background. I know it looks dark, but it is very cool to have a wake view. My first cruise, and I'll tell you, I will do it again. Yesterday I was in Mexico in how do I say it? Do I say it right? Chichen Itza, one of the wonders of the world. One of the wonders of the world. And I'll leave you guys with this. I was at one of the 7 wonders of the world, and as I stood there and looked at this giant pyramid, the only thing that I was thinking to my head is, this thing was built 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago, men came together and said, "Okay, we're gonna build this thing. We're gonna build a pyramid. We're gonna put an empire on top, and we're gonna run the people." When the Mayans created it, they knew that they were creating civilization now for the next 5,000 years. So, in closing, I want to say this: look for longevity. Don't look for now. Even though we embark ourselves into a beautiful new year that's coming up, don't just say, "Oh, it's a new year. I'm going to make it big this year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make millions." Yes, that's good. And that's good because you're keeping yourself clear. But no, the life of a successful person, especially a man, a lion, a king, is about understanding that it's going to take time. Even myself, I know if it takes another 10 years, I'm okay. So have longevity in mind. Set yourself up correctly. Position with the right asset classes. Join the right community. Be here every single Thursday. And that's where I say thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of the Lions Den. Thank you for showing up every single week. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I cannot wait to see you next week in 2025 on the Lions Den. God bless. Take care, everyone.